Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Well, good noon. Good day. Good day. Not quite.
That was your first game in another new uniform. How are you feeling about Saturday?
Extremely blessed. I'm grateful that I get a chance to play a sport that I love, that I've been playing since been 4 years old, with a new color on, but 5 back on. So that's very exciting.
We saw you have an explosive day yesterday. How good did that feel, and how ready are you for Saturday?
Yeah, the most important thing is today. So getting out there and executing with the guys today. Obviously, when you have great days, you want to build upon that, and I think everyone wants to build upon the good days and eliminate the bad days.
Did you think that was your best practice day 2 days ago?
I'm looking forward to having my best practice day today.
Jameis, you've been doing this a while. How valuable do you think the preseason reps are, and what's the most valuable maybe part of those?
Well, every time you get an opportunity to go out there and express your talent, is very valuable. I can't place a single thing that's more valuable than the other, because I'm extremely grateful that I get the opportunity to go out there and work with the guys.
Jameis, you're all energy and smiles. You got your feet out. How do you translate your good energy onto the field when you play?
Well, that's where it just comes from. It comes from who I am, my essence, my charismatic self. Always exuberant, the light, a man of increase, a man of faith, and that's where it comes from. It comes from my foundation and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's where all of my good looks, my energy, everything comes from. My feet is just it's a blessing.
Are you looking forward to the Browns fans and the Dog Pound getting to see you in orange and brown out there at Cleveland Brown Stadium on Saturday?
Absolutely, that's the most exciting part, man. To get in that stadium, have those fans tearing down on us, supporting us, being loud, going Dogs, go Brownies. Like I just can't wait to feel that atmosphere and go out there and get a win for them.
Jameis, it seems like you've really been connecting with some of the guys. Cedric Tillman's having a really nice camp, and some of the other receivers. Just how's that connection going with the young guys and Amari and everybody, really?
It's going well, and the thing is, the most beautiful thing is just learning who they are. You know, obviously out there on the field, man, it's amazing. God has blessed us to do some amazing things, but I really took pride in the time that we had together at the Greenbrier. Like those 8 days just allowed us to really get a chance to know who people truly are, understand their roots, understand things that they don't like, understand things that they do like. So that is way more important than getting out there and balling on the field. Like that's everyone's dream, to get out there and ball on the field, but not often do you get a chance, especially in the NFL, to connect one-on-one with your teammates and get to know who your offensive linemen are, who they really are, get to know who your receivers really are. And I think Coach Stefanski and our leadership has done an amazing job of just allowing us to gel together.
Jameis, since you started playing, excuse me, you've always known it's all about next man up. You got to be ready because you never know. Is the backup role as a quarterback even more important now than it's ever been, at least in your time in the league?
With especially over the past few years, with a lot of the number one guys going down at any given moment, the backup quarterback role is very important. So definitely being in tune with your guys, having great chemistry with the cadences, with the calls, and everything that comes with being that starting quarterback is really flowing through the backup quarterback. Like that's the only position out there where there's only one man. So you have to be ready at all times, and I'm definitely ready for that role.
James, you talk about growing your relationship with your teammates and really getting to know them. Just how's your relationship with Deshaun grown here since you've gotten here and been able to spend time with him?
Well, it's amazing because I see how I was when I was 8 years in the league, embracing a new city, having all the weight of an organization on my shoulders, and finding ways that I can just cater to him and help assist him with this immaculate role that he has. This is a wonderful city that loves football. He has people that's dependent on him left and right, and he's doing the best job that he possibly can. And it's exciting to see him, man, just come out there, have the energy, be there and lead his teammates, be there and have constructive conversations with me and study ball with them, and also just help all of us just help build each other. I think this is a very unique role of me being in the quarterback room alone, because this is the first year where I'm the veteran in the room. So I got a bunch of young guys that I'm trying to get to know, I'm trying to inspire and trying to increase, but at the same time we're all building off each other. So it's really a beautiful thing just watching him grow, watching him lead and ball out on the field, but also just the man that he is, the poise and coolness and calmness that he has on the field and in the study room.
When you
Browns
look at
released
your
their-
time as a rookie, when you back when you was a rookie, getting ready for your first preseason game, and now, how's it different for you as a veteran?
Well, the most different part is the experience. I've been here before. I've done that before. As a rookie, it was just the excitement of, oh my gosh, I'm about to have my first NFL debut. I remember like yesterday, it was in Minnesota. You know, it was an exciting game, and we didn't get a chance to play in the Vikings Stadium. We had to play at the Minnesota Golden Gophers Stadium, and I was a Golden Gopher in high school. So there's so much things that you try to tie together to create similarities. But now it's just like, hey, I'm going out there and playing my best football. I got these young guys with me. I'm gonna make sure that I'm doing everything for them to play their best football. We're going out there and execute, and that's it.
Jameis, are you surprised Mike Vrabel can keep up with you out there?
I'm not surprised, because he's definitely a fierce competitor, but I haven't seen him beat me yet.
How did that start?
It just started just competitive nature. He likes to get his work in between RVAs, and so do I. So we just go all out in everything that we do.
The Browns have released their renderings for a new Dome Stadium in Brook Park. From a quarterback position, you played inside, you played outside. What is it like to be in a controlled environment versus outside, and how much of an impact does it truly make?
Well, I believe weather in football is such a important factor. But I think the history of football was built upon those. You think about the first Super Bowl, you think about the Ice Bowl, Kansas City versus Green Bay, and you think about just the features that game possessed. So up here in Cleveland, obviously, the weather, we use that as our advantage, in a point. So I got to pass that along to the fans and see how do they feel about the stadium renderings and stuff. This is my first year here. I'm just happy to put on the Browns uniform and go out there and play great football. But definitely being in New Orleans, I can see advantages there just because it's indoors. But man, football is football. Once you get inside that gridiron, all things aside, it's time to play your best football, and the best man is going to win for that day.
James, we're scrutinizing every single one of Deshaun Watson's passes, because that's what we do. But he's got so much intense focus on him right now, and of course he's coming off of a surgery. How do you think he's handling all that scrutiny, and how are you able to kind of help him maybe block out some of that noise or get through?
One of the most iconic roles that I got a chance to witness Deshaun was when he won the national championship against Alabama in Tampa, Florida. And in that game, there were some plays where, man, I saw him get hit hard. I saw him get, beat up, but he persevered. And I think through his whole life, I mean, when you think of the way that he grew up, Deshaun was built for adversity. He was built for resilience. So honestly, I know he respects everyone's opinion, but the most important opinion to him is himself. And I know that he's working through a lot of different things, but man, he's happy. He's poised. He isn't fazed by anything that anyone has to say, because he's on a mission to be the best quarterback that he possibly can be. And again, just me seeing when I was that age, and I'm just 2 years older than him, but understanding, man, to whom much is given, much is required. And he knows the magnitude and expectation that a lot of people have for him. But if you think that Deshaun Watson has a lesser expectation than all the fans or all of you have of him, then you're shortchanging yourself, because he has high expectations. He wants to be and will be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And honestly, that's what I'm here for, because I guarantee you, I'm feeding that into him. I'm making sure that he knows that. And he really don't need my help, because he has it. He already has possessed that. And I saw that in him when he won that national championship against Alabama. And that game meant so much to me, because I'm a kid from Alabama, right? And I was a starting quarterback in Tampa, got a chance to see him lights, camera, action right then and there. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget. When you can go out, you can see practice, you can knick-knack, this, that, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. Deshaun Watson is going to turn it on. He always going to find a way to shine when the lights come on. Man, I just rhymed. Oh my, can I leave off that one? I know that one gonna hit.
Jameis, have you thought about a career in motivational speaking when you hang it up? What are you thinking?
Man, I just want to be a man of increase. My faith has brought me so far in Jesus Christ that I just want to continue to show that light. One thing that me and my boys sing before we go to sleep every night is, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And I want to let my light shine. I want people to know that my fire for Jesus Christ. I want people to know that I'm here to encourage them, lift them up any way that I can. And that's just who I am.
What are you listening to? What's your top 5 artists of all time?
Top 5 artists, that's tough, man, because I got a lot of variety in my tunes. You know, you got rappers, you got R&B, you got gospel. So I listen from a variety of Kendrick Lamar to Fred Hammond. I listen to the old Kanye West. I listen to some Jay-Z. I listen to some Drake. You know, for the Swifties, I even try to listen to Taylor Swift. You know, it's so many things. Like, I think music, like art, is so unique. So everyone has their own spin on it. But right now, I've been really dialed into Childish Gambino's new track that just came out, and I've really been bumping that lately.
So, Jameis, when you talk about Sean's resilience, and then if there's a bad practice or bad throws, is it still something that you guys talk about, even though he has that in him? Do you still bring that up and say, okay, let's move past this throw or this practice?
I think more of the constructing side comes from our coaching, Coach Stefanski, Ashton, and Ken. Like, they do a great job of relaying the message of the do's and the don'ts. And I think a part of training camp is that learning aspect. Like, this is a new offense for all of us. So we're going to have, even when it's a great play, we might have something where our eyes have to be fixed. So I think you continue just to sharpen that knife. So when it's time for battle, you're going out there and you execute to the best of your abilities.
The fact that it is a new...
Jameis, as you have learned from Dorsey's offense, what stands out to you and why is it beneficial for your game?
I think the most beautiful thing about his offense is we are attacking defense laterally and we're attacking defense vertically. And with the lateral game, you're allowed to get your completion percentage up. A lot of his quarterbacks have had high completion percentages, and obviously that's good because completions get on the defense's nerves, and it keeps the rhythm and flow of the offense going. So that's been a very exciting part.
I was going to ask, going off of something you said to Scott's question, the fact that it is a new offense for everybody, does that help to kind of feel like, even though you're new in Cleveland, like everyone's on a similar kind of playing field and learning the offense?
I think you could say that. I believe the most important thing is that we get to learn it together, and we get to bring all of our perspectives together, and we get to discuss it, right? Because this is new. It's something that's just getting put in front of us, and we get to have different viewpoints of what is the best way to run this particular route. Like, what should the timing of our footwork be to this route to the left? And I think that is the beautiful part of, again, me having that veteran role in a system where, man, I can really relay a message to these young guys, and these young guys can relay a message to me that I can build off of, and I can take that from them and go and do it on the field as well. All right, thank y'all.
Going through training camp so far, what has really stood out to you about your room and what they've been able to do in training camp?
Absolutely. You know, really the biggest thing is the consistency and really just the versatility of the guys that we have in the room. You know, we have great leaders, and their consistency of work has really showed up.
How has Denzel stepped into even more of a leadership role with that group, especially even just this year so far?
Yes. You know, like when you think about Denzel, like great player, better person, and better teammate. You know, we talk a lot about on defense, like, are you a trusted teammate? You know, but being a trusted teammate is also embodying everything that we do. And that's our physical violence. That's giving great effort on every play, and that's showing a great deal of passion. So not just on the grass is he doing those things, but also in the classroom.
So Denzel and Martin talked about how Denzel had him with him in Miami in the offseason, and they spent all kinds of time together. Just what's that say about Denzel, and how valuable can that be for Martin?
Sure. You know, I think that really speaks to the culture that Andrew and Kevin have really built, you know, and when you think about like Coach Schwartz talking about holding our best players the most accountable. So when we talk about being a trusted teammate, that's part of that, holding our best player the most accountable to bring our older guys up.
We've seen Martin going against Amari like over and over again? When he gets to go against Amari every day in camp, what does that do for him?
You know, iron sharpens iron. You know, our guys are well coached, our guys are well trained, but also when us talking about putting the team first, it's great just to hear our guys' conversations, like behind the scenes, you know, because our guys use our technique and our fundamentals, but them being able to bounce ideas off each other, being great players, putting the team first, it's really going to help us during the season.
How have you seen Greg Newsome kind of stay active? Obviously, he's dealing with the injury right now, but how is he maybe making sure that he's mentally sharp, even though he can't be on the field physically?
Sure, like Greg embodies everything about our team mantra, you know, and he's certainly a smart player. So all the way up from Greenbrier to all the way up to where we are now, he has not missed a beat. Whether it be Zoom interviews, whether it be in-person meetings here, like he's constantly helping the guys that, you know, are going to be out there at this point competing in camp. He's done a really good job leading.
It seems like on the side.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it seems like sometimes on the side, you guys kind of break out to certain drills. There's Denzel and slot cornerbacks. So you guys kind of working on like some type of drills there?
Absolutely. You know, obviously we want to make sure that our technique and our fundamentals, they're always sharp. You know, so being off on the side is really focusing on our communication first and then executing what we need to do. Yeah, great question.
Early on in camp, when you had Greg out and Cam was off also, how much did you see Miles start to really kind of grab those opportunities, those extra reps, and build off?
Absolutely. You know, opportunities multiply as they're seized. And he's certainly a young guy that's seizing every opportunity to like improve his technique and fundamentals and his communication. So game reps, right, are going to be the very most important for him. But he is taking advantage of every practice rep, every bit of opportunity after practice and in the meeting room.
How can Saturday and the other preseason games be beneficial for those younger guys, those guys that are trying to get that roster spot to showcase their game in an actual game?
Yes, ma'am. We try to really just keep it simple for the guys. You know, and really keeping it simple is us starting to start. On defense, we want to make sure that our physical violence is on display, that we're giving great effort. We know exactly what to do, how to do it, and then obviously showing a great deal of swag and passion with making plays. So, you know, the speed of play, like obviously we can't show a level of physical violence out here because it's always Browns versus Browns. But once we get on the field and we're competing versus others, we'll be able to see exactly that on display.
I know Martin and some of his teammates felt like he deserved the Pro Bowl nod last year. When you look at how he played, do you agree, and just how well did he play last year?
Yeah, you know, I think Martin is continuously improving. You know, I think that's going to be a big focal point for us, just to keep improving for our team. And obviously, you know, I think all of our players are Pro Bowl players, you know, top down. But obviously that's going to be a great deal of work that we've been doing too.
Brandon, I spent some time with Justin Hardy.
Yes.
You mentioned you've been very patient with him. You still feel he's a cornerback. You have very little experience with cornerback. Can he contribute on defense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you think about like guys that are going to be role players, guys that have consistency and versatility with who we are, right? Like the most important thing is going to be our physical violence. He's definitely a physical violent player. And he gives great effort. He gives standard effort, especially when the young guys are being able to see a veteran like that. And then passion, right? He's a guy that has swag. He's a guy that really embodies what we are as Cleveland Browns.
To finish that, do you see him still far away from a polished cornerback?
Yeah, you know, I think that none of our guys are ever a finished product. And I think that really like helps us all keep the focus on the work. So with him, like when it is time for him to be utilized, he'll be ready.
With Cam, what do you see out of him as a rookie, and do you feel like he's poised to take that next step in year two?
You know what? I think a great deal of maturity. You know, he's a young guy that's a trusted teammate. He's a guy that's definitely not afraid of work, you know, and every single day he is a smart player. So he takes the stuff from the classroom on the grass, applies it. He takes very clear correction, and that really helps our team.
Brandon, you mentioned it's Brown on Brown out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Next week you get to go Browns on Vikings.
Check.
With everybody. So what does that mean for your room to go through those joint practices?
Yeah, competition, right? Like anytime that we can get out there and we can compete, we can communicate, get our guys in the right positions and execute at real speed, that's going to help us during the regular season.
You have a handful of Ohio guys.
Yes.
Justin Hardy and my man Denzel Ward. speak to the camaraderie within that group, and I'm wondering, from your perspective, does Ohio have a chip on its shoulder compared to other states? Who has the best ball in Ohio, and best ball in the country?
Man, I tell you what, man, like, and that's something like being a Georgia guy, like you kind of like grow up in this box, right, where you think that just Georgia or Florida's, has players. But I'm gonna tell you, a unique perspective, like being able to play in Indy and have a chance to see what Ohio ball looks like. It's great national players up here. So to be able to have like two, like you said, Cleveland guys in the room, Cleveland guys have edge. And both of those guys have a great deal of edge, but a great deal of accountability to being resilient to the team. And I think that that's really like on display every time they're out here.
What is it about your room that allows guys to just be ready to step up? And I mean, we saw it last year. I mean, we'll probably see it again this year, right? What is it about your room that allows a guy like a Cam Mitchell or if it's a Miles Harden this year to just step in and do their job?
Sure. The standard is the standard and it doesn't change, and we hold our best players the most accountable. So when all of our players feel like they're they're going to put the right foot forward to make sure that we can execute that. And culture, right? Kevin has done a great job when he talks about putting the team first. That's always been the focal point. So the people in the seats that Andrew have brought in the building, it's really helped that.
For Miles, off the field, I guess a little bit, how have you seen him just adjust to NFL life and just kind of coming from a smaller school, just kind of figuring all of this out and like, what does he just pick your brain about and that kind of stuff?
Yes, ma'am. Something that's consistent is high achievers always roll with high achievers. And he's definitely a high achiever that's not afraid of work. So like being in the building and being around other guys just like him, he's fit in like in an excellent manner.
Yeah, I got one more.
Yes, sir.
Let me see here. Thinking about a glue guy in your locker room, if you can make a clone out of one guy to build up the rest of the 53-man roster, who would that be?
Wow. In our room?
Yep.
Man, that's a very unique question. I would say that, a young MJ embodies everybody in our room. Obviously his mentor and Denzel, he's also been mentored by Greg Newsome. So when we talk about like the swag and passion, when we talk about the desire to succeed, but also having a tough edge, right? Like we want guys that are tough, that give great effort, that have a great deal of passion. When I think of that, I think of Martin Emerson.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Yes, sir.